Almost.
Stand by.
Do you hear me on microphone? Do I sound good? Good evening, Steubenville. You're watching Franciscan Beat News. I'm Thomas Payer.
Are we ready to rock and roll all night and party every day?
Yes.
Yeah, prompters.
Good evening, Steubenville. You're watching Franciscan Beat News. I'm Thomas Payer. We begin tonight with the announcement from the Diocese of Steubenville that Bishop Jeffrey Monforton has been assigned by Pope Francis to return to his home Archdiocese of Detroit as an auxiliary bishop. In a letter released today, Bishop Monforton called the move bittersweet and said that he looks forward to going home to serve the faithful under Detroit Archbishop Alan Vigneron. The bishop served the Diocese of Steubenville since his episcopal consecration in 2012. Since then, he has served as a member of the USCCB's Subcommittee on Aid to the Church in Central and Eastern Europe, becoming chairman of that subcommittee in 2019. That same year, he also became a member of the USCCB's Committee on National Collections. Pope Francis named Bishop Emeritus Paul Bradley of the Diocese of Kalamazoo, Michigan, as the Apostolic Administrator of the Diocese of Steubenville. After serving as a priest in the Diocese of Pittsburgh, Bishop Bradley spent 5 years as an auxiliary bishop of Pittsburgh and 14 years as the Bishop of Kalamazoo, before retiring back in May. In a letter to the faithful, Bishop Bradley said, quote, "To be successful, it is essential for me to listen closely to you, the people I have been sent to serve. I intend to consult broadly with clergy, religious, and lay leaders to learn about your concerns." This coming Wednesday, Bishop Monforton will join me here in Studio G4 for an exclusive interview as he prepares for his new ministry, and we will be keeping a close eye on this story, and we'll let you know when we find out who Pope Francis chooses as the next Bishop of Steubenville. There we go. No shorts on the Senate floor. The Senate voted last night to reverse an informal guidance issued by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer last week that senators could wear what they want when voting or speaking in the chamber. The resolution, passed by voice vote with no objections, requires that, quote, business attire be worn on the floor of the Senate, which for men shall include a coat, tie, and slacks or other long pants. It did not specify what women should wear. The bipartisan resolution by Senators Joe Manchin and Mitt Romney comes after backlash to Schumer's announcement that the staff for the chamber's sergeant-at-arms would no longer enforce a dress code on the Senate floor. The guidance came as Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman has been unapologetically wearing shorts and sweatshirts around the Senate, voting from doorways so he didn't walk on the chamber floor and get in trouble for his casual dress. President Joe Biden's dog Commander has bitten another U.S. Secret Service employee. A uniformed division officer was bitten by the dog around 8 p.m. Monday at the White House and was treated on site by medical personnel. The communications director for First Lady Jill Biden said, quote, "The White House can be a stressful environment for family pets, and the First Family continues to work on ways to help Commander handle the often unpredictable nature of the White House grounds." The German Shepherd purebred has bit or otherwise attacked Secret Service personnel at least 10 other times between October 2022 and January, including one incident that required a hospital visit by the injured officer. According to records from the Department of Homeland Security, Commander is the second dog of Biden's to behave aggressively, including biting Secret Service personnel and White House staff. They eventually sent the first dog, a German Shepherd named Major, to live with friends in Delaware after those incidents. While the White House dogs may not have behaved well, you may not have been aware that every time I'm at this desk, I'm joined by a companion of my own. Franciscan Beat is proud to welcome my service dog, Griswold, to the studio for all our future broadcasts. There he is. He's such a good boy, isn't he? The Speaker of Canada's House of Commons resigned Tuesday after honoring a man who fought in a Nazi military unit during World War II in Parliament after a speech by the Ukrainian president. Just after Volodymyr Zelensky delivered an address in the House of Commons on Friday, Canadian lawmakers gave 98-year-old Yaroslav Hunka a standing ovation when Speaker Anthony Rota drew attention to him. Rota introduced Hunka as a war hero who fought in the 1st Ukrainian Division. However, observers over the weekend began to publicize the fact that the 1st Ukrainian Division was also known as the Waffen-SS Galicia Division, a voluntary unit that was under the command of the Nazis. The Powerball jackpot climbed to an estimated $925 million after no players hit it big last night, continuing a stretch of lottery futility that has lasted for more than 2 months. The winning numbers were 1, 7, 46, 47, 63, and red Powerball 7. The jackpot for the next drawing Saturday night remains the world's 9th largest lottery prize of all time, behind earlier prizes in the Powerball and Mega Millions games that all topped $1 billion. The jackpot has grown so large because there have now been 30 consecutive drawings without a big winner, dating back to July 19th. Powerball's terrible odds of 1 in 222 million, that's 292.2 million, are designed to generate big jackpots, with prizes becoming ever larger as they repeatedly roll over when no one wins. The largest jackpot was a $2.04 billion Powerball prize hit by a player in California in November 2022. A NASA astronaut and 2 Russian cosmonauts returned to Earth yesterday after being stuck in space for just over a year. American Frank Rubio set a record for the longest U.S. spaceflight, a result of the extended stay, after the trio landed in a remote area of Kazakhstan, descending in a Soyuz capsule that was rushed up as a replacement after their original ride was hit by space junk and lost all its coolant while docked to the International Space Station. What should have been a 180-day mission turned into a 371-day stay. Rubio spent more than 2 weeks longer in space than Mark Vande Hei, who held NASA's previous endurance record for a single space flight. Russia holds the world record of 437 days, set in the mid-1990s. The Soyuz capsule that brought Rubio and cosmonauts Sergei Prokopiev and Dmitry Petelin back was a replacement launched in February. Russian engineers suspect a piece of space junk pierced the radiator of their original capsule late last year, midway through what should have been a 6-month mission. Engineers worried about that cooling, and the capsule's electronics and any occupants could have overheated to dangerous levels during re-entry, so the craft returned empty. There wasn't another Soyuz to launch a fresh crew until this month. Their replacements finally arrived nearly 2 weeks ago. This has been Franciscan Beat News with me, Thomas Payer. You can find us on Instagram at franciscan.beat. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, and God bless.